Conscious marriages. 1. Honor marriage as a sacred commitment. A mated relationship is one of the most powerful yellow-ray choices a person can make. Marriage is not simply a social arrangement. It is a covenant where two souls unite with the Creator to build a shared temple of love, growth, and catalyst. The law of one encourages partners to regularly return to that inner sanctuary, the silent tabernacle within the heart, where both can listen to the voice of the Creator and renew the intention that began the union. Weddings often hold beautiful memories, yet the real work begins afterward. Marriage amplifies catalysts more than almost any other life decision and becomes a central arena where the yellow-ray energy center can open, constrict, or evolve depending on how partners meet their challenges. 2. Your motives for marriage shape the lessons that follow. Many unions are created not from pure love, but from ambition, fear, convenience, or cultural conditioning. When a marriage begins without true love, or when practical motives overshadow the bond, the relationship often carries distortions from the outset. A union formed without higher resonance tends to collapse under stress, while a relationship anchored in shared vision, spiritual synergy, and true love can become deeply fulfilling. The nature of the initial choice becomes part of the lesson. The conscious player must work with the catalyst of that choice, whether the marriage lasts or dissolves. 3. Marriage is a test of inner clarity. Marriage is no longer held in a firm societal container. Many unions dissolve without stigma, and even religious authorities no longer consistently warn against separation. Because external pressure has weakened, the spiritual seeker must choose consciously whether to remain or part. The example of Prince Charles and Princess Diana highlights how marriages arranged for duty rather than love often break apart under emotional strain. Societal expectations now play a minimal role in sustaining a union. What remains is the internal commitment of the partners, the clarity of their intentions, and their willingness to honor the covenant as a spiritual path. 4. The Creator as the third partner. Marriage is often treated as a romantic ideal rather than a clear agreement between two people. If it were approached like any other contract, partners might negotiate realistic terms, renewable commitments, and roles that support fairness and shared responsibility. Instead, the lifetime vow is usually taken amid ceremony, emotion, and little practical clarity. This lack of transparency often leads to confusion once real life begins. The law of one suggests remembering the true gift at the center of any marriage, the Creator. When the Creator is consciously included as the third partner, the union gains a depth and tenderness that helps both individuals navigate what would otherwise be difficult human dynamics. 5. Blend devotional practices to strengthen the bond. A marriage grounded in shared spiritual seeking can become remarkably resilient. When two partners blend their devotional practices, the relationship is infused with a sacred quality that helps steady the yellow-ray energy center. Daily rituals, such as shared morning offerings or evening meditations, create an atmosphere of unity and grace. This shared spiritual walk becomes an anchor during times of emotional turbulence and strengthens each partner's capacity to support the other with patience and compassion. 6. Marriage as a field of deep catalyst. Marriages face a wide variety of catalysts. Patterns of abuse, sexual infidelity, emotional avoidance, or deep-rooted insecurity can create significant yellow-ray blockages. Often these distortions arise not from conscious cruelty, but from unconscious repetition of childhood wounds and family patterns. The dynamics of possession, jealousy, dependency or power struggle can quickly constrict the flow of energy. When faced with serious challenges, the guidance is to return to the inner altar of the marriage, to remember the vows, and to invite the Creator into the healing process. This practice does not guarantee that a marriage will survive, but it ensures the individual remains open and aligned while working through the catalyst. 7. Marriage magnifies every choice and deepens polarity. On the spiritual game board, marriage is a wager with high stakes. Every act of support, patience, acceptance, or forgiveness is amplified. When we support our partner, we simultaneously support the other self, our own self, and the Creator. Marriage triples the impact of our service to others. Because of this magnification, the potential for spiritual growth within a marriage is enormous, but so is the potential for distortion if the relationship becomes a source of resentment or constriction. The player's task is not to force the marriage to work at all costs, but to keep the yellow ray open by approaching each challenge with open heart. 8. Returning to the sacred moment of union. When a marriage reaches a point of uncertainty, the Confederation advises returning to the moment of union. Visualize the chancel where vows were exchanged. Remember the sincerity of the commitment. Feel the presence of the Creator who entered the covenant with both partners. This inner return can provide the strength and guidance needed to repair what is wounded. It can also offer clarity about whether the marriage still serves the spiritual growth of both participants. The goal is not to preserve the form of the relationship, but to move through catalysts without closing the heart. 9. The inner work that defines marriage. Marriage offers intense catalyst, intimate mirrors, and accelerated lessons. It can be a sacred covenant, a demanding training ground, and a profound companionship, yet its success or dissolution has no bearing on spiritual graduation. What matters is the ability to meet the experiences of partnership with clarity, compassion, and a willingness to grow. By remembering the Creator's presence at the heart of the union and tending the energy body with care, we ensure that marriage becomes a path of opening rather than closure. A marriage that ends can still be a profound success if it teaches forgiveness, acceptance, and self-understanding, while a long-lasting union can become spiritually stagnant if resentment, control, or fear remain unexamined. The key is never the outer status of the relationship, but the state of the yellow chakra, which must remain open through continual release of constriction, healing of wounds, and a shared commitment to stay aligned with love.